our +1 English online class. We started the topic that is "And Then Gandhi Came" by Jawaharlal Nehru. Today we are going to discuss its remaining portion. Let's begin. What is truth? I don't know for certain, and perhaps our truths are relative and absolute truth is beyond us. Different persons may and do take different views of truth, and each individual is powerfully influenced by his own background, training, and impulses. So also Gandhi. But truth is, at least for an individual, what he himself feels and knows to be true. According to this definition, I don't know of any person who holds to the truth as Gandhi does. That is a dangerous quality in a politician, for he speaks out his mind and even lets the public see its changing faces. This is the next passage. Yes, what is that? What is truth? Truth seems to be differ from person to person. That is, truth is different from person to person. My truth may not be your truth. So my truth is not be your truth. Absolute truth is beyond any one of us. Different people take different views about truth, and each person is influenced by his background, training, and feelings. We can, however, say that for an individual, truth is what he himself feels and knows to be true. I do not know of any person who holds to the truth as Gandhi does. Okay, this is the next passage. Come on, continue. Gandhi influenced millions of people in India in varying degrees. Some changed the whole texture of their lives. Others were only partly affected, or the effect wore off, and yet not quite, for some part of it could not be wholly shaken off. Different people reacted differently, and each will give his own answer to this question. So Gandhi, there's millions of people are there. Okay, they may be just to give the same one, but at the same time what happened? Yes, that is totally changed. Okay, so here Gandhi influenced millions of people in India in varying degrees, in different degrees, different ways of degrees. Some changed completely. So some of the persons, some of the students, or some of the people, they are changed completely. But others were affected only partly. Different people reacted differently, and each one had his own answer but about the change. That's the next one. See another one. His call of action was twofold. There was, of course, the action involved in challenging and resisting foreign rule. There was also the action which led us to fight against our own social evils. Apart from the fundamental objective of the Congress, the freedom of India, and the method of peaceful action, the principal planks of the Congress were national unity, which involved the solution of the minority problems, and the raising of the depressed classes, and the ending of the curse of untouchability. See? Right, come on. His call for action was twofold. One involved in challenging and resisting foreign rule. The other was fighting against our own social evils. The principal aims of the Congress were freedom through peaceful means, national unity, solution of minority problems, improvement of the depressed classes, and the ending of untouchability. Okay, so these are the main aims of the Congress in that period. Okay, next one. See, realizing that the main props of British rule were fear, prestige, the cooperation of the people, and certain classes whose vested interest were centered in British rule. Gandhi attacked these foundations. Titles were to be given up, and though the title holders responded to this only in small measure, the popular respect for these British given titles disappeared. New standards and values were set up, and the pomp and splendor of the viceregal court and the princess suddenly appeared supremely ridiculous. Rich men were not so anxious to flaunt their riches. Outwardly, at least, many of them adopted simpler ways, and in their dress became almost indistinguishable from humble folk. See, the main support of British rule were fear, prestige, the cooperation of the people, and certain classes that benefited from the British rule. Gandhi attacked this. He asked the title holders to give up their titles. Only a few responded, but the popular respect for the British given titles disappeared. New standards and values were set up. Suddenly, the luxury and the glory of the Viceroy's court looked very ridiculous. Rich men became reluctant to show off their riches. Many adopted simpler ways, and in their dress they were almost undistinguishable from the ordinary people. Some procedures, some positions are there, they just give up for Gandhiji. Okay, so they received some benefits from the British rule, but they all are give back because of Gandhiji's attack. Okay, that's the thing. The next one, he sent us to the villages and the countryside, hummed with the activity of innumerable messengers of the new gospel of action. The peasant was shaken up, and he began to emerge from his shell. The effect on us was different but equally far-reaching, for we saw for the first time, as it were, the villager in the intimacy of his mud hut, and with the stark shadow of hunger always pursuing him, we learned our Indian economics more from these visits than from books and learned discourses. The emotional experience we had already undergone was emphasized and confirmed, and henceforward there could be no going back for us to our old life or our old stance. See next one. He sent us to the village and countryside with many new messages of action. The peasants, that is farmers, began to come out of their shells. The effect on us was also great. For the first time, we saw the villager in his mud hut with poverty always following him. We learned Indian economics more from these visits than from books. The emotional experience was great, and there was no going back to our old life and our old standards. That's the next one. See, what was the idea of India which he was getting out to would according to his own wishes and ideals? I shall work for Indian, which the poorest shall feel that it is their country. In voice making, they have an effective voice. An India in which there shall be no high class and low class of people. An India in which all communities shall live in perfect harmony. There can be no room in such an India for the curse of untouchability or the curse of intoxicating drinks and drugs. Women will enjoy the same right as men. This is the India of my dreams. Proud of his Hindu inheritance as he was, he tried to give to Hinduism a kind of universal attire and included all religions within the fold of truth. He refused to narrow his cultural inheritance. Indian culture, he wrote, is neither Hindu, Islamic, nor any other holy. It is a fusion of all. Again he said, I want to culture of all lands to be blown about my house as freely as possible. But I refuse to be blown off my feet by any. I refuse to live in other people's houses as an interloper, a beggar or a slave. Influenced by modern thought currents, he never let go of his roots and clung to them tenaciously. Okay, what is the word meaning tenaciously? Okay, strongly. See, Gandhi was full of, can see his explanation. What kind of India did Gandhi want? He said he would work for an India where the poorest shall feel that it is their country. In its making, they will have an effective voice. There will be no high classes and no low classes here. All communities should live in harmony. There will be no untouchability. There will be no intoxicating drinks and drugs. Women will enjoy the same rights as men. Although he was proud of his Hindu inheritance, he tried to make it universal, which would include all religions within its fold. He said, Indian culture is neither Hindu, Islamic, nor any other completely. It is a mixture of all. He wanted the culture of all lands to be blown about his house as freely as possible, but he refused to be blown off his feet by any. He said he refused to live in other people's houses as an intruder, a beggar, or a slave. Although he was influenced by modern thoughts, he never let go his roots. Okay, that is the thing. Next one. It is not surprising that this astonishingly vital man, full of self-confidence and an unusual kind of power, standing for equality and freedom for each individual, fascinated the masses of India and attracted them like a magnet. He seemed to them to link up the past with the future and to make the dismal present appear just as a stepping stone to that future of life and hope. Thus he effected a vast psychological revolution, not only among those who followed his lead, but also among his opponents and those many neutrals who could not make up their minds what to think and what to do. Last one. Okay, last passage. Gandhiji was full of vitality and self-confidence. He had an unusual kind of power. He stood for equality and freedom. For each individual, he fascinated the masses of India and attracted them like a magnet for the people. He seemed to be a link between the past and the future, making the bad present a stepping stone for a future life of hope. He brought about a psychological revolution not only in his friends but also in his enemies and even the neutrals who would not decide what to think and what to do. Okay, this is the topic, that is, and then Gandhi came. Okay, this is the topic. So here the writer Jawaharlal Nehru, okay, that is, he describes the condition, okay, after the World War First. Okay, see, there is everyone had a fear in their mind because of the British rule. And after that, when he came to India, there is some changes occurred. Okay, so here he gave the energy to the people to overcome that particular fear from their mind. So he, each and every parts, that is, he from the side he give the energy to them and teaching them, and he says that non-violence and abhaya and all. Okay, at the same time he said that we never give up. We have to proceed, and we have to be succeeded in this attempt. At the same time, some people, they are under the British rule, they get some positions under them, but the intervention of Gandhi, they all are get back to the British rule and they follow Gandhi. And some of them, they just followed Gandhi's words, but others are never followed. Okay, this is another thing. And after that, the same time, we can see he is just to act as a good, that is, role model, because he give a strong, that is, confident. He sent some of the villagers and some of the persons to the village or the countryside, okay, and many messages, that is, they given, and they just act for Gandhiji. Okay, that is what we seen, and most of the people, they are the ordinary one. Okay, that things also we discussed. And he also a dream. That was what is his dream. Each and every religions together, okay, in a stands uniformity, that is unity. They have to keep unity. Okay, such a manner he saw the dream. That was his dream. Okay, each and every person without exploitation, without any problem. Okay, each and every religious to rule or live harmony with happiest moments. That was his dream. Okay, that was his dream. That was his hope. Okay, that he shared with us. We know that. And after that, you can see the same time. Yes, here say that is the past and future things. Also, he just to share with them, and these all things they just executed with the help of Gandhiji. Friends, his enemies, and they also acquired something from him, and they don't know what they don't know. These are the things it contains. This is the topic. I hope you got the idea about this topic. I think all of you clear. It is helpful you. Anyway, we will meet again in the next class. Okay, thank you.